where you are now and everything that has happened to you before now has kept you alive. Therefore, your brain will do everything in its power to keep you in that comfort zone because it knows that that will keep you safe.
Welcome to the Lara Jane Layton Show. This podcast is for you, the person who keeps putting others first. Your self-talk has held you back. You no longer need to take a second seat. Let's explore ways to overcome self-doubt. You can silence that inner bully voice and achieve your full potential. Here's your host, Lara Jane.
Hello, listener. It's Lara Jane, and I am here with Emily, a new friend that I just met. And we are going to talk today about authentic manifestation. This is new to me, so we're both going to learn. Anyway, Emily, I'm so excited to have you on the show. You could tell us a little bit about yourself and jump right into our authentic manifestation. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here. And I'm really excited that this is new to you because I get to teach you something new, and it may just be terminology that you haven't heard before. And that's so beautiful. And without going too deep into my story, because I really want to be able to teach you guys some stuff here, I always was that person that was growing up that I just kind of decided that I wanted to do things. I would just be like, yeah, I'm going to go and do this. And the world around me would be like, how are you going to do that? That's like, doesn't make sense. How are you going to pay for that? What are you going to do? Like, that's dangerous. And I was just kind of like, oh, well, like, I'll figure it out. Like, it'll be okay. And I would make it happen. When I left high school, I traveled around the world and I just made it work. Anytime I needed a job, it would just happen for me. And then I kind of reached a point in my mid-20s and I experienced some trauma in my early 20s there and suppressed it. And then when that was buried deep down inside, it meant that that flow wasn't happening anymore. It meant that that ease of life just wasn't really, there was much more resistance going on. And at the time, I didn't really understand what was going on. But now looking back, I completely understand that that's what was happening. But I was still certain things I was able to call in quite easily. But there was this element of needing to work really hard for it. And back in maybe 2017, 2018, I did a lot of internal work and I started clearing a lot of that trauma and moved through that. And in the next couple of years, I got my dream job as a primary school teacher and worked at my dream school. I was almost that like annoying person that would skip into work every day. That was like, I love my job. Life is so good. And I literally would have people that I worked with going, Emily, you just need to cool it on like the positivity for a little bit because it's too much. And I was like, no, I'm just going to do what I do. And life was like beautiful. And I manifested my beautiful partner who was just beautiful journey in itself. And I found like a beautiful home to live in. Like I love where I live. I'm like right by the beach and it's just absolute home for me. And I reached this point in about 2020, 2021, when all of a sudden I was like, I did it all. I ticked all those boxes. I've done all the things that I wanted to do. And then I had these like other dreams that I thought that I wanted. I was like, well, I guess now we should get married and have kids, but that didn't feel right. It didn't feel true, but there was almost like this wounded part of me that was like, well, that's what I'm supposed to do. And I was like, well, now we should buy like a house and be responsible and do that. So I was saving to buy a house and to do that. I'm going, yeah, that's like a one day. But then there was these other dreams, these other kind of ideas of what I wanted. I almost didn't really let myself dream them. And I had this like beautiful and very full on few months there where I was like, I don't know that I'm really fulfilled here. I did everything that I was supposed to do. I ticked all these boxes. These next boxes don't really feel like me. They feel like they were somebody else's idea. And I don't even know if the boxes that I've currently ticked were the ones that I wanted anyway. I don't even know what boxes I want to tick. I don't even know what I want. And it was like this full-on thing where I went from like skipping into work being like, I love this so much, like life is so good, to being like, why am I anxious? Like overwhelmingly, debilitatingly anxious. Why am I feeling completely unfulfilled? And what I know to be true now is that as human beings, particularly the feminine energy, not male or female, the feminine energy in all of us is always expanding and always wanting more, always desiring more. There's nothing wrong with it. It's part of our being able to grow. And I really just started stepping more and more outside my comfort zone. I started doing things that excited me. I started putting myself in containers and courses and hired mentors and things like that just expanded me and pushed me. I followed that feeling of that feels really good. Like I'm swearing like an F yes life. Like this is what I'm doing. If it is a full body yes, then I'm just going to do it. And I devoted a whole year, particularly last year, I was like, I'm just going to follow my yes. I'm just going to do whatever feels like a full body yes. And I did. And through that year, what I uncovered is there's a very potent energy and magnetism when you are your most authentic self. And while I, for years and years and years, have understood the principles of manifestation, and I learned more and more and more about how it actually works and that there's actually a science to it. And it's really beautiful. It's like this incredible orchestra just all trying to bring you what you desire. And the most magnetic state of being is when you're in your truth and when you're in your authenticity. And what that means is that what you attract into your life is in alignment with that authenticity. And that doesn't mean that you have to wait until you get to a particular point of like, now I'm my fully expressed self. But when you start to peel back the layers, you start to see more and more the things in your life that aren't in alignment with that authenticity. And you start to like attract, and this can like rub people the wrong way, this sense of ease and the sense of something being easy. But things do just like effortlessly fall into place. That doesn't mean that you don't have to do anything. We live in a physical world and we need to do things to make them happen. But things do just fall into place and opportunities come your way that are in alignment with that authenticity and those dreams that are your dreams. They're not somebody else's dreams. They're not that idea that you're supposed to have kids and be married before you're 30 and buy your own house and have all of those kind of things. If that's what is true to you, then amazing. And it's really, really powerful when we start to question, is this actually in alignment with my authenticity? So that's like as succinct as I could like put it, like what authentic manifestation is. It's creating your dream life, not the dream life that was put in front of you, not the dream life that somebody else decided for you. That full body yes, dream life.
I love the full body yes, because sometimes we don't really know what we want or what's next. Like you can't authentically manifest if you don't know who you are. Mm-hmm. And so it's like learning and understanding what makes you tick that's so unique. So I love that. I've experienced plenty of full body yeses, and I've experienced some full body no ways. So it's like, okay, but it's in those middle grounds where how do you know when it's neither?
Yeah. Well, I think that that's the really big thing that I talk to my community about and share with my clients. I move through them because, and this is so funny, I had a friend of mine say to me the other day, she goes, I actually don't know who I am. And I just said, why don't we just like pop that need to know who you are just off to the side? Because you don't actually need to know. And this is something really, really powerful that was profound for me, is that who you are changes in every moment of every day. It's not this stagnant thing. It's not this set in stone thing. And when you allow yourself to be malleable and you allow yourself to be flexible and you allow yourself to continue to evolve, it's not about reaching a point where you're like, this is who I am. This is my most authentic self. It's about being on the, I used to hate when people used to say this to me, but like, it's about being on the journey. It's about being in the process. Because if you reach a point where you're like, and I'm done, well, in my like logical mind, if we're not growing, then we're dying. And I know that sounds like super, super harsh, but if you think about anything in nature, like think about like a pot plant, for instance. It's either growing and it's getting bigger, it's getting more lush, it's growing new vines, or it starts to die. If it's not continuing to grow, that doesn't mean it doesn't go through like little stagnant plateaus and things like that, depending on the seasons, of course. But you notice when the plant has stopped growing, it's stopped in the growing phase, and all of a sudden you're like, it is dying. I need to put it in a new pot. I need to give it some new soil, fertilize it, maybe prune it back a little bit because maybe some of those stems aren't serving it. And when you start doing that work, when you start putting yourself in new environments, when you start following that full yes, and the thing is it doesn't have to be like a, yes, I completely know this. When you first start connecting back in with your body and your intuition, and you hear people talk about it, but I don't know what that means. I don't know what listening to my intuition means. I don't know what listening to my body means. And it's because this is not an official percentage, but like I'd say like 98% of people are like living from the neck up. Like they're just in their head and very, very disconnected from their body. And the thing is that we hold so much wisdom in our body, and it's beyond our like brains, like our mind's comprehension. Our mind can't comprehend like energetics. It can't comprehend conceptual things. It will try and articulate it and put it into words so it can understand, because our brain's just trying to keep us safe and trying to make sense of everything. But when you can let go of like, I don't actually need to know everything, that there's parts of me that I just get to continue to explore, which that's the fun part. And it's bringing it back to like what you can do following that full body yes is new to you, or that like middle ground of, well, it's not like an absolute no and it's not like a full yes, but I don't really know what to do here. One, let go of like the need to know sometimes. Like sometimes just putting aside the decision for a little while can be really, really beautiful. And then I personally would start doing the things that just spark a little bit of fun, that just feel like joy. It's not like, oh my gosh, like learning aerial silks or doing pole dancing, like would just feels like my whole dream. Like I love that. No, it can be like, well, that just sounds really fun to me. It just sounds like different. It feels a little bit uncomfortable because I haven't done that before, but I'm just going to go and do that. And that just feels exciting to me. And those kinds of things start to just retrain our brain that we get to follow the fun, and we start to connect back into our body and go, oh, that felt really good. And you listened to me. I'm going to give you some more information. And every time you just listen to that little niggle, that little nudge, that little voice, however that comes to you, imagine like a child or something like that who's trying to communicate something to you. If you never listen to that kid, if you're like, no, go away, like, I'm not listening to you, they're going to stop asking and they're going to stop talking to you. But every time you tune in and you listen to them and then you act upon that message, or you just be present with it, you build that trust of going, oh, you listened to me that time, I'll try again. I'll try again. And all of a sudden, the channel of communication becomes really, really clear. And those yeses and nos become really, really, really clear. But in the interim, I think there's this real need to like, let's just let go of this pressure of needing to know exactly who I am and who I'm meant to be in the world. The fun of it is that it changes over time. It changes continuously. And that's how beautiful it is. Like, that's how exciting it is. I don't look back at me 5 years ago going into teaching and like loving my job. At that point in time, that was my purpose in life. That was me and my authenticity. That doesn't mean that I was showing up fake, because that's not who I am now. At that period of time in my life, that was me being my most authentic self. Now that doesn't feel true. Now because I'm still in a transition period where I still work. Now when I'm there, I'm going, I can be my most authentic self here. And I know that I'm making moves to be able to move into a different reality. And my reality is just taking time to adjust to who I am now. And also know that you can't make a wrong decision. That's a really,
So
really, really
true.
thing. You cannot mess it up.
I agree. This whole life is about learning. And no matter what path you're on or what path you go down, you are going to learn and you are going to grow. So I completely agree with you. And we're going to take just a quick break and get a word from our sponsor. And we're going to be right back because I want to hear more about trusting and allowing ourselves to move forward, even if you're not sure, because there is no right or wrong. Be right back.
This podcast is sponsored by Lara Jane Coaching. You know you're ready to silence your inner bully voice. Let Lara Jane support you with coaching. To schedule an introduction call, go to larajanelayton.com.
All right, we are back. Thank you so much. And I am having a great time and just want to go back to that. There's no right or wrong. Whatever path you're on is the one you're learning from right now and is making you a stronger person. And so I'm completely there. There are a couple other modalities. Well, there's several of them that people use to get the yes or no answers. And those are pendulums or muscle testing and all these different things. And if you aren't really sure, sometimes that's a good way to do a right wrong. Like one day I thought, okay, I feel like I need to go to the hospital and get checked out, but I don't want to. And I don't go to the emergency room for anything. So I'm going to muscle test this. And so it comes back with, yes, go. Well, the funny thing is the reason I went wasn't a problem, but they found something else. And so you just have to trust. And I remember telling my husband at the time, I wish I hadn't asked because I don't want to be here because I'm not going to not do it when I get the full yes. So yeah, it's trust and move through it, right?
Yeah. And trust can be a really, really tricky one, as well as surrender. And it's one of those things that I think, for me anyway, and for a lot of people that I work with and a lot of people that I know, it's like the part of it that of, manifestation of life that can be like our biggest learning curve, especially if you've got elements of yourself that really like to hold on to control. And for me, that was like a huge thing. It's like, I need to control it. Like, I don't have all of the information and I need to control this. And I love to bring in that, like the quantum, very spiritual, like just trust that everything's going to be okay. And my logical mind and my nervous system wants to know that I'm going to be safe here. Especially if you're going to make choices in life, like, am I going to go to the doctor? Who knows? And there's something telling me that I should go and I don't really know. Or it may be that you're making a decision to invest like more money than you've ever invested in yourself and you've never invested in yourself, or going on a trip, or breaking up with a long-term partner or something like that. And our nervous system, whenever we bring in change, can panic really and can freak out. And the thing is we take that as, I shouldn't do this. I shouldn't do this. And the thing is, that first instinct of like, this is what I need to do, it's not that it's always right. And it's about, again, building that relationship between like, is this thought coming from fear or is it coming from love? And if it's coming from fear, it's not your truth and it's probably coming from somewhere else. And I would inquire into that. I would be asking and journaling on questions of like, where is this belief or this thought come from? And does this belong to me? And is this true for me? And what's underneath here? And all of that. And I had a train of thought here and it's coming back to me. And sometimes I go on tangents and I forget what I'm talking about.
It's like, oops, oh well.
Oh yeah. And that like concept of, I can't mess this up. I cannot make a wrong decision here. The way that I like to look at it, and this is where manifestation really, really comes into play. And when you start to understand the laws of the universe, and I won't go into depths there because I could talk about that for hours on end. We don't have the time here. But when you understand how the universe works, and that there's I visualize it as there's this team that I have, this invisible team that are their sole purpose in life is to one, take care of me, two, to make sure that physically that I'm okay because I'm here in this physical world, to help me get where I want to go and to nudge me and to bring me back onto the right path when I fall astray. And that can mean that sometimes we experience polarity, which essentially is just when we have an experience that shows us what we don't want. So it might be that we're like trying to manifest our dream partner in life and we think that we've found them, and then it turns out to just blow up in our face or something, and we're going, well, I'm just not meant to be with anybody, or I'm meant to be alone. Like, what's wrong with me? And we make it mean something about ourselves. And it's just creating clarity to direct you towards what you do want, or showing you a wounding or a pattern or a belief that you have that needs to be clear in order to align you with the version of yourself that has that dream partner. And there are so many different kind of things that are at play all at once that we can't see. You might be going, well, I want this particular job or something like that. For instance, this is the job that I want. This is my dream job. I am like meant for this. And it may be like a full yes of like, yes, this is it. And you're going, okay, well, how should I go about this? I'm not really sure. If you just move towards that and know that if you don't get it in the timeline that you thought or in the way that you thought, it doesn't mean that it's not meant for you. If you had the thought, if you had the desire, it is meant for you. And what is meant for you will not go past you. And the how is not up to us. Right. The how is not up to us. And the thing is you don't know all the other things that are at play at the same time. There could be other people, other things that need to be shifted, other lessons that you may need to learn in order to be the person that gets that job. But I imagine it like this, you can think of it like a genie or something like that, but it's just like, yes, your wish is my command. I will make this happen. And goes in and like goes to this like supercomputer and is like coding and like making things work and moving. Okay, well, if that's going to happen, well, then this needs to shift and move here, because in order for this dream to happen, then we need this in place. Oh, and this needs to happen first because she'll need this level of courage built up for her to be able to go into this. And there's all of these things. So when you make a choice or you make a decision, you feel like you've trusted your gut instinct or your heart. For me, it's more my heart where I feel it. And it doesn't go the way that you thought it would. Just know that there's more things at play. It's just a shift. It's just like an expansion into something different. And also know that sometimes that little person at the supercomputer is going, your wish is my command, and I've got something better in store for you. So whenever I set that intention of, I really desire this, it's this or something better, because that better is beyond what you can possibly comprehend here. Mm-hmm. And if we're like going, no, it has to be this way, and I need my dream man to have brown hair and a ponytail and like must work in this kind of job and be open to like all my spirituality things at the same time. And then you meet somebody and you go, they ticked all the boxes, but you run your own business and that feels a little bit insecure to me. So no, like you don't know that the person is better than what you could have imagined for yourself. There was one other thing that I wanted to mention, particularly when we go into that, I'm not like wanting to trust, because it can feel uncertain. And like I said, our brain and our nervous system is always trying to keep us safe. And that's like a really powerful thing to understand, is that our brain, its primary purpose is to keep us alive and to help us survive. It is an incredible, incredible machine that keeps us alive. And the thing is, where you are now and everything that has happened to you before now has kept you alive. It has achieved its goal to keep you alive, to help you survive. Therefore, because that is what has happened in the past and that has kept you alive, your brain will do everything in its power to keep you in that familiar, in that comfort zone, in that what it knows, because it knows that that will keep you safe. So sometimes our brain can trick us into thinking that doing new things, that stepping outside our comfort zone, that attracting new things into our life is unsafe. And that comes up in our body where we literally have like emotions of going, this is really unsafe. And this is where self-sabotage and things like that come into play. And this is something I work a lot with my clients with, is nervous system regulation. When you can make those moves and make those steps and set those intentions and start to attract different into your life. And I just use the word different because it's just different to what you've always known. And then regulating your nervous system to that different, it shifts the baseline of that normal. It expands that comfort zone, that bubble of what your brain and your nervous system believes to be safe. And then as you do that, is you start to kind of do little things, and they don't have to be big things, just little steps that feel a little bit uncomfortable, because uncomfortable doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. Feeling a little bit scared doesn't mean that you shouldn't do it. But as you start to do that, you start to rewire your mind and your brain to go, doing new things is safe. It creates new neural pathways because once you do it, you're going to feel really good. Like, that was really exciting. I was so nervous beforehand and I did it, and now I'm like excited. And it starts to create those new neural pathways that doing new things is safe. Like, it's okay. And those challenging things and doing new things become easier over time. And our body and our nervous system feels safe doing those things, and safe when the manifestation arrives, rather than tearing it all to the ground because it's too overwhelming for systems.
You use the word different, and I love it. I go with it's not good or bad, it just is. It's not better or worse, it's different. And that's so important because we're in a duality world. It's right, wrong, black, white, but it's not really that way. It's all good. If you can use a positive or negative word, it's not even all good. It all just is. It's all just an energy. It's all just something that we deal with. And so I love the word different, and I've never used it in that way before. And I know that it's going to stick because it's such a beautiful way of showing that we're changing and learning, but it's not this huge mountain. It's just different.
Yeah. And it's not the better or worse. I think that we can go, I don't want to do that because that's worse than what I have here. And I don't want to do that because that's better than what I have here. And I don't actually think that I'm worthy of that. Your worth has nothing to do with it. There's so much talk around like worthiness and things like that. Your worth has absolutely nothing to do with it. It's we as human beings are meaning-making machines. We make everything mean something. And if we can make different mean good, different mean exciting, different mean I get what I want, different mean I continue to grow, different means I get to live my dream life, rather than I'm chasing this dream, which like visual of chasing my dream is like exhausting me. I'm chasing my dream so that I can have a better life because what I have now sucks. Like I have to run away from this because I have to. No, we get to just continue to step more and more into that authenticity, into who we feel our most selves out. The word that I love most is resonance. And that's just this, it's a very hard concept to articulate verbally because it's a feeling. It's that sense of ease and that power in it. It gives your body power. And by power, I just mean energy. And it's like, this is me. This is where I feel good. And it may just start with like little flickers and sparks. But when you step into that resonance, into that authenticity, you're not chasing. You're just making choices and making moves in life that are just stretching you a little bit, which are just making like little shifts. And those like little shifts and those little moves compound over time, like astronomically. It's not a 1 + 1 = 2 situation. It's like a 1 move plus another move equals like 10 shifts in like the quantum, because when we make those moves, it's sending a signal to the universe that we're willing to change, we're willing to choose ourselves, and we're actually open to a different life. And then our brain and our nervous system is going, yeah, well, different is safe and different is exciting and different is fun. And I'm open to that. And it's just this like cycle and this process of continually expanding, continually choosing different, continually regulating our nervous system to the new and rewiring it. And it just becomes easier and easier. And it creates this effortless flow. And you'll continue to have new dreams and new goals and things like that. that's what's exciting. And that's literally, if you've ever asked, like, why am I here on this earth? Like, that's why you're here. You're literally here for that process and that experience along the way. It's not to get to a point at some point where you're finished. There's no finish line. The finish line is death. And then
It's not even done then.
sorry to get super morbid on you. It's the process. And we're so often like focused so much on the future that we're forgetting about like right now. Like, who am I showing up as and who am I being right now?
I love it. Where am I right now? I am exactly what I'm supposed to be right now, no matter what. It's a hard concept. No, it's a concept that we didn't learn. And once you learn it, it's a very gentle and easy concept. But it is knowing and trusting that universe that is going to put us where we need to be when we need to be there. And that if we feel like it's a detour, it's not to the universe. And so it really is that trust. And the other thing that you mentioned subtly multiple times is just that gratitude is once you can really appreciate what you have, the universe is willing to give you more. But if we're constantly hateful or frustrated at what we have now, well, it's not time for more. And so really that trust and that thank you. And I love the way it's like, yeah, that was my authentic self 5 years ago, but I'm still authentic. I'm different, but I'm still authentic. And so that's a really amazing thing to do. I know that in politics, and I'm not a politics people and I hate bringing this up, but I always chuckle inside when they badmouth a politician for something they said 30 years ago. And you go, I'm not the same person I was 25 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago. You can't hold me to all those things I said because I choose to move on and I choose to grow and change and learn. And that's what we're here for. So yeah, it's like, it's okay to be different.
Yeah, I'm not who I was like a week ago. We're continually evolving. And like, there's that permission piece to be like, okay, we're changing. And the people around you will adjust because quite often we're holding on to that image or that idea of who we were out of fear of what the people around you will think or how they'll react. Are they going to be okay with who you be in this moment? Will they leave? Like, they will adjust. And what you're doing is you're actually giving them permission to also shift and change and evolve. You're showing them what is possible. And the thing is, what somebody else is doing, what they're thinking, their beliefs, their idea about you has absolutely nothing to do with you. It is their business. It's their wounding, their lens that they're looking at the world. And it has absolutely nothing to do with you. We just get to let go of that fear. And it's a challenging one. I'll say that it's simple, but it's not easy. As a lot of this work is, it's much more simple than what we think, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. Yeah.
We have been trained since infants to please. When you smile, your mother giggles and pays more attention to you, and she's pleasant. When you cry, she's not as pleasant and she gets stressed. And from that, your first kids in school, you're taught to conform and to not make waves. It's just the way most of us. There are some people that didn't go through that, but most of us were raised to please. And you have to take the chance to not please and to realize that we're all here on our own path. And you can't judge a kindergartner against a college student. They know different things. They might be on the same path, but they're in different places. You've got to allow people their own place in life, their own path in life. And as you cross, know that they're there for a reason. And I noticed that my friends, my real friends, have adapted and changed along with me, whether I'm with them or doesn't matter who inspired the change, but we're changing together and growing together and not apart. And then there's the ones that you are done with and you move on, and that's okay. It doesn't mean you've lost or it doesn't mean you were bad. just means it was time for a change. And so, yes, I love it.
Yeah. And it's like, there's one thing that I have learned is that whether you are showing up inauthentically, either consciously or unconsciously, most of the time it's unconsciously, or you're being your most authentic self, you're attracting people into your life who are a match for who you're being, your beingness. And if you're being the kind of person who's hiding who you are, you're pretending because you want people to like you, you're going to attract people who fit that mold, and also who you continue to feel the pressure to be liked by them. You continue to feel the pressure to hide certain parts of you because you'll be judged. But the magic is that when you let go of that and you keep peeling back the layers and you step into that authenticity, you attract people who just see you for who you are. You attract people who you don't have to hold on, you can let go of. And I know this is a huge wounding for so many women. It was a huge wound of mine, was this sister wound and female relationships. And I was bullied in high school and things like that. And it's such a common thing of not trusting each other or competing against each other and comparing. And I'm here to tell you, I have experienced it over and over and over and over again. There is a whole massive community of women and people out there who are waiting for you in your authenticity, who will fall into your life and who will love you for who you are, who will support you for who you are, who will see you for who you are, and who you do not need to be anyone but yourself when you're with them. And there is so many people. It exists. It is there. If you are somebody who has grown up pretending to be someone else, this is like one of the most powerful manifestations in my life. My friends now, compared to 2 years ago, I think maybe two of the same friends. That's it. And I'm talking, I have so many beautiful people in my life, some of them who live here in my community and a lot of them who live in other countries, and we still call each other and we message each other and we talk to each other all the time. And I don't need to pretend to be anyone else with them. And that happened so effortlessly when I just let go of that mask of that I need to be a certain way to fit into this group. It's no, I'm just going to be myself and just watch the puzzle pieces of people who are meant to be with me come and fit in with me and come and be with me. It's not even a fitting in, it's just a being together.
It's belonging. It's like when you fit in, you're changing your edges and shape to fit. But if you belong, you're there. They're the people that you don't have to change for. They're the people that are so comfortable to be around. And I'm so blessed to have some of those people in my life. It's just amazing. And to have your ups and downs. It doesn't matter what path you're on. The weather, it rains, it blows, it snows some places. It's not always the same, but it's always the perfect environment for growing our trees and our grasses and keeping the air clean. And so you've got to trust the wind that affects your day, the rain. You got to trust those days when you just feel like staying in bed, and the days that you're out there being everybody's ray of sunshine. It's nature. It's the way it's supposed to be. And just because we're authentic doesn't mean we're absolutely the same every moment of every day. We're growing, we're learning, we're progressing. And so I love your message. It's resonating.
Beautiful. Thank you.
We can keep talking. I have no deadline. Of course, that's a lie, but I have lots of deadlines. But we are way out of our 30 minutes.
I was going to say, if you don't give me a time frame, you can probably tell already, I could talk all day.
I know our listeners going to go, this is fine. It was well worth the extra time. So I don't have any problem with it, but we are going to go ahead and close out. But my favorite thing to do at the end is, what is your last little bit of wisdom you would like to share with us?
The thing that keeps coming up for me recently is to just play, follow the fun. And I know this isn't like this like profound thing, but the thing is the experience of it is profound. Play with life. We take life so seriously. Like watch a child stomping in puddles and like let go of that little voice going like, oh, they're going to get all muddy and wet and gross. And go and stomp in some puddles and laugh because it's fun. Take the time to play with your dog and run around with them rather than just watching them. Do some craft because why not? Organize like a silly like games day out with your friends. Be a big dork and just have fun and play. And that will uncover that authenticity, that childlike wonder, that childlike fun and play is a huge element of that authenticity, and it will unlock so much, and it is so magnetic.
Wow. That's so funny because it was probably a year ago when I was telling my kids, I just want to be fun again. I just want to have some fun. So tired of this serious do person that's just so focused on make money and be awesome. I just want to have fun. And my kids will go, but Mom, you are fun. I go, but it doesn't feel fun anymore. So I wanted it to feel fun. And life is fun now. It's so worth it. So yes, enjoy the fun along with your authenticity. So thank you so much, Emily, for joining us. This has been amazing. I've totally loved the whole time. Just want to remind our listener that Emily and I are not medical or mental professionals. We are here for entertainment purposes. Our full disclosure is in the show notes if you'd like to check it out. And we look forward to talking to you on the next episode.
Are you tired of waking up exhausted? You are not alone. If you're looking to take your life back, let's start with the simple step of adjusting your self-talk. Stay tuned for the next episode with your host, Lara Jane. Remember to follow the show so you don't miss the next simple step that you can use to feel more confident. And please leave an honest review.